Hello, and welcome back to the blind tasting of the Scotch Advent Calendar from Secret Spirits. My name is Ed, and happy St. Nick's Day. I broke out the Santa hat. I figure I might just keep this on for the rest of the thing. We're far enough into December that it feels like it's right. So, unfortunately, I'm filming this later in the evening of the actual day of December 6th. Usually I film them earlier. So the problem is, I kind of had this one spoiled a little bit for me. I was going through my YouTube feed today, and on the Scotch Test Dummies thumbnail, it said Islay. So I'm pretty sure this is an Islay. So goddamn you Scotch Test Dummies and your wonderful, informative thumbnails. But I am still going to try to do this as blind as possible, so we can at least guess distillery, ABV, age, all that fun stuff. Cool? Cool. So this is what we're drinking tonight. I'm not looking at it. But I did have a question about something I mentioned in the Craig Ellicky video. Crack-a-lackin', as I like to call it. And that was from Sirius, and he was asking about the thing I mentioned about trying to figure out ABV of whiskeys. That came from Doug Spencer, who I know from Whiskey Head, the club here in Milwaukee. And Doug was saying that with a younger whiskey, you really, it's probably going to be hotter. It's going to feel hotter than it actually is. An older whiskey is going to feel less hot than it actually is. So if you can taste things that make you think, oh, this is young, then you might want to guess lower on the ABV. If you taste things that make you think it's much older, guess a little higher than you might otherwise. So that's the trick. But let's get into this. So, if this is an Islay, it's not the biggest, peatiest, most crazy Islay I've ever smelled. I think that's what the Scotch Test Dummies thing said. I scrolled past it super quick because I realized what I was looking at. Yeah, if this is an Islay, it's not super heavy smoke, but I am getting that seashore vibe. That, kind of salty iodininess that makes me think of seaweed. Yeah, very much so. Seaweed and salty air. But there's some spice. There's a little spice there, but not a big. And some sweetness. I'm wondering what that is. Kind of raisiny, maybe? I'm wondering if maybe this is sherry finished. A sherry finished or a sherry aged thing. Kind of bready, but banana bready almost. Yeah, banana bread maybe. And then yeah, some saltiness, a little bit of saltiness. This isn't straight up smoke like a lot like your Ardbeg or your Lafroig, and it's not really medicinal like I expect Lafroig to be. So let's get a taste. All right, that's pretty sweet. And I'm leaning into my sherry thing because I'm getting that warm toffee, a lot of warm toffee, nutty, almondy, a little bit fruity maybe. Kind of not real raisiny, but a little bit figgy or plum. So now, if I wasn't given to thinking this was already an Islay, I don't know if I'd guess this was an Islay. So maybe it's something like Bunnahabhain, sherry finished, not as peaty, or the classic Laddie, something like that. And it smells pretty young. I'm guessing probably around that 10-year mark. Sandalwood almost. Yeah, kind of woody. So if this is an Islay, it's a pretty sweet Islay. If it isn't, I could see this being another Highland almost, because it's not crazy Islay-esque. All right, so let's throw things over to future Santa Eddie and let him take a peek at it. Hey, hello, I am Eddie's more handsome, more erudite companion, future Eddie. And I've been sitting with this for a little bit. Put just a drop of water in it. I am getting a little more of a mossy note, kind of mossy and green, but I definitely gotta say the sweetness is mostly that with what I'm getting. Vanilla in that. This could be sherry finished. I'm a little unclear on this one. I think it's younger. Yeah, probably around 10 years. If it is an Islay, it's a very sweet Islay. kind of like a Bunnahabhain. I'm gonna say this isn't 40%. I don't think it's 40%, but it's not crazy hot either. And since it's younger, maybe it feels a little hotter to me than it actually is. I'll say 46. Watch it be cask strength, because that's how these things go for me. But man, Craigellachie, I guess 56. It was 61. I'm counting that as a win, because geez, I was so off on all the other ones. All right, let's take a peek at what it is. It is Regional Series Islay Single Malt Whiskey from the Creative Whiskey Company. Refill sherry. I did say it has some sherryness to it. From Islay. 50% alcohol. Okay. I dig it. I'm getting better at this. Okay, so I knew it was Islay coming off the bat. But had I not known it was Islay, I probably wouldn't have said Islay. Right? I probably wouldn't have. This is pretty sweet. A lot of the Isleys I like to drink are very smoky. But yeah, I don't know. This is cool. Shows a little different side of Islay. I'm so excited that the Secret Spirits guy, Jonathan Bray, yeah, he's actually been following these videos. That's nuts. I mean, I went on his blog and said, hey, I'm doing this, whatever. I figured maybe he'd just be like, oh, okay, whatever, and maybe just like give me a shout out on the blog or something. But he's actually like engaged with this. That's so cool. I'm geeking out about it. So, all right, but yeah, so this one has run a little long. I've talked too much. Islay Regional, pretty cool. But you guys stay rotten.